Yay! It's my fantasy football show. You should watch it. Why, hello and welcome back to all of my fans, my friends, and my fellow FTFLers to the longest running weekly episodic fantasy football show out there. That's right, boys and girls. It is time once again for the FTFL weekly update. Now, I am Brett Sieber, not only the host of this award-winning show, not only the two-time league champion, but also now the proud owner of the most losses in an FTFL season record. That's right, boys and girls, 2-11. Now, let us not forget how many times I begged, I pleaded, I gave up multiple times. What did that get me? The record for most losses in the FTFL season. However, that isn't the case for not one, not two, but now a third individual openly quit on the season. And what happens? Oh, let's shower them with points. Let's applaud them with victories. Let's give them everything they could possibly want. Now, I know somewhere Mark's just sitting there going, well, hey, I've lost 2 in a row. You have, but you're in the playoffs after you quit. Swart, you won 4 in a row. You've got a shot now at the second seed, a bye, and you quit. And then last week, my show gets interrupted by breaking news from Kramerica Industry announcing their team's end of their season, promptly followed by 130 plus points and a victory. But I'm not mad. No, I don't get mad anymore. Everything is A-OK. I mentioned, of course, the league record. Now, it isn't a tie for Adam Saltmarsh with most wins. He didn't get that this week. He has a chance to tie next week. Of course, now that will only be a tie at 11 if he makes it. 12 now we'll have to wait, I guess, for another season. And speaking of, I guess, numbers and records, this week to break down the playoff scenarios, we know Salty's in. We know Swart's in. Jeff, I think, is in too. But the other 3, it's all up in the air. And to help us with that, we have a special report for, well, some of your favorite numerical analysis, the Number Muncher. That's coming later in the show. I know that I promised Fantasy Confessions last week, and I said it would come this week. It's going to have to wait again until next week. We've got the people that called in. We will be calling them back. We are looking forward. Bart is looking forward to wrapping this up, no doubt. But before I get to the games and move officially on, finally, over the last couple of weeks, our glorious champion Eric seems to have found the FTFL championship title. Where it was beforehand, I don't really know. But he seems to have found. Now, but I can't just let it be at that. I'm glad he's got it. Good for you, Eric. However, I'd be remiss if I didn't say I wasn't a little upset with how you've represented it. Not by record. Listen, you're the 4th FTFL champion in a row to have the follow-up season miss the playoffs, so that's fine. Where's that thing been, dude? And then, you send us a picture of it on your tree. Now, if some of you take a really close look at that picture, those of you who are at the draft, you know that that's Eric's basement. That's right. This did not go on the tree that's up in Eric's upstairs living room where guests come in, where people can see it from a window. No. It is not proudly on display. It is tucked, hidden, kept as if some sort of eyesore that you don't want anyone to see, as if you're not proud of it. And why was it sitting on the tree at home? Oh, because you left it there when you went on vacation. So just in case you're like, I don't get it, I didn't see it, here is the picture of Eric's title on the tree. And I mean, yeah, it looks nice. It's wonderful. However, I did that last year, so why don't you get original? And actually, here are some now pictures of what should be done with the title. This one, of course, is the amazing backdrop of the scenery in Utah. Here it is on the shores of Lake Michigan. Here's the belt on 4th of July with me enjoying a beverage. It should go with you everywhere. You should be showing it to everyone, including people like these cops. I think I've got this picture. We're going to dig it up. Let's see if it comes up. Yep, there it is. Again, these are the things that should be done with it. Only thing I can demise is you're embarrassed. And if that's the case, I'm embarrassed for you. And I'll see you in the Loser Bowl. More on that later. Let's get to the games. I've spewed enough just wildly hot air out into the ethers. Radioactive Monkeys looking for that 11th tying win, coming in at 10-2, taking on the Architect. I know, spoiler alert, I already told you Salty didn't win. Matt, all of a sudden, the team that I have been behind since early in the season, coming in at 6-6. He notches 89.5. Salty only 85.5. If you're Matt, 2 of 24. Cortland Sutton has had a very good year. 15 points for him. Rashad Wright, Kyron Williams, 13.5 each. Kyron Williams is averaging 15 points a week. That dude is a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. Calvin Ridley, 4 points, though the game-winning 4 points for him on Monday night. It is Matt's third row in a win ever since he was reaped. So now, Matt didn't officially quit on the season, but the Reaper said your season was over. Oh, let's take a look at what I've done since the Reaper said I've continued to lose. I think I've lost 4 in a row. And you wonder why I sit here angry most of the time. Fantasy football, we all know, is a game of luck. Sure, there's a little bit of skill involved. But when you have almost no luck, year after year after year after year after year after year, and you watch other people quit and then have luck year after year after year after year after year, one would only assume that I wouldn't be driven into complete madness on a more regular basis. Shows you how composed I am. If you're Saltmarsh, Tyreek Hill, 32.5 points. My God, Tyreek Hill is the number 3 overall scorer in the league. He is only behind 2 players, of course, quarterbacks. He is an uncharted waters, and he could have been on Sid's team. But instead, Sid traded him away. Now, if I hadn't lost 11 games and set the record, at this point, the cringy seems destined for me. However, I suggest the Tyreek Hill trade as a strong competitor to my eventual, what appears, reign. Devontae Smith, 16.5. That dude is humming as of late. 16 for Hurts. 4 players at 2 points or lower. Brian Robinson, 78.5 points in his top 5 games on the season. 44 points in his other. He is boom or bust this week. It was bust. Salty needs a little more boom. Lots of buys this week. Regardless, Salty has 10 wins. He's going to get a bye in the first round of the playoffs. He may tie the record. In the end, it won't matter. We'll see you, Mr. Saltmarsh, in the FTFL playoffs. Coming in next, Team Dickweed at 9-3, taking on the Southbound Pachyderms at 8-4. And this one was for first place in the North. John's team, Jeff said it last week, we're not going to Park Rapids. And after this week, after John got doubled up and had another piss-poor performance, we're not going to Park Rapids next year for the draft because we have a brand new division leader in the North. Adam Swart, 146.5, the highest score of the season, not ever, of the season. If you're Team Dickweed, 67.5 points. For Swart, your starters, every single one of them averaged 16-plus points. Dallas was the only one that really was just awful this week. 3. They've been averaging 13. But if you're Swart, this was a huge week. Charbonnet, 12.5. He averages 3. Hubbard, 18. He averages 5. Ingram, 14.5. He averages 5. I hope you didn't, pop the cork a little earlier, if you know what I mean. Adams and Cook were on a bye. Kenneth Walker III was out. And so all these were backups, and they performed marvelously for you. You have won 4 games in a row. You have a shot now at a bye. Kudos to you and your quitting ways. If you're John, Joe Mixon, 21, Michael Pittman Jr., 17.5, Justin Herbert, second lowest score of the season, 4 points. DeAndre Swift, second lowest score of the season, 1 point. Keenan Allen, second lowest score of the season, 4.5 points. So while Swart's team is off just gallivanting in all sorts of points, John's team was all but just done. Now, if you're John, you're still going to the playoffs. And so I know anything can happen, but boy, you'd like to see a little bit of something before we get to that point. But I guess time will tell. Next up, Make Cramerica Great Again, coming in at 5-7, taking on Manah, 4-time Lucky Pants, breaking and entering, title thieving. I gave up on my season, but I'm going to the playoffs, riding the horseshoe train, toot-toot, champ Manah. coming in at 7-5. And Sid, oh, wouldn't you know it? I quit last week. My team wins this week. That's the magic ticket, unless your name is Brett. In that case, screw you. Go to hell. Fantasy football isn't your thing. 133 points for Sid, 97.5 for Jeff. Debo, my God, Debo Samuel looks like the Debo of 2 years ago. And if that's the case, it would be a real shame for Sid to miss the playoffs at this point. You swapped out Debo for Tyreek Hill. Oh, God. Yeah, I guess time will tell. Collins, 22.5 points. Henry, 20.5 points. Collins, I'm looking every week. I see a name in my paper here, and I'm going, who the hell is this? And I don't know. Ramondre Stevenson, 2.5 points, high ankle sprain. That's going to sting. Puka, 20 on the bench. Now, he had an AC joint sprain. Looks like he's going to be fine. You dodged a bullet there. And again, you quit, but you won. If you're Jeff, Dak, 24 points, Atlanta, 15. Trey McBride, who has kind of come out of nowhere down in Arizona. See, I know a lot of things about football. It's just that every now and again I see a name and I go, I don't know. That's Collins. I apologize, Collins. You had 22.5 points. It seems like I should know who that is, but I don't. It appears if you're Jeff, Justin Jefferson's going to play this week. Not a moment too soon. You gave up a lot for him. 2 losses in a row for Jeff. I'm going to take a quick break here for the games because Jeff is a part of the equation, as is Sid, with all of the balls up in the air. And if they're up in the air, you know they don't belong to Ryan Deesum because his titties and balls are saggy, gross, mildewy, and just really not well cared for. But here to explain how all these scenarios might play out, we are going to send this now off to, well, I guess at this point, an FTFL correspondent, the Number Muncher. Take it away, Muncher.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the Number Muncher Lab. Here it is. We're going to go quick. Lots to go through. We've got Salty as the number 1 seed. Congratulations, Salty. Great record. Number 1 seed. Swart and John got the number 2, number 3 seed. Number 2 gets a bye. Basically, Swart wins. He's in. You've got John and Swart. If John wins, Swart loses. John gets number 2. Swart gets number 3. Swart wins. John wins, but he would also need to outscore Swart by 77 points. Might be a little bit difficult to do. All right, moving on to seeds 4, 5, and 6. You've got Jeff, Matt, Sid, and Peter. Matt and Jeff are in regardless. Sid and Peter need to win to be in, along with some other tiebreakers, which I have over there on the right side over there for you. 8 scenarios for you I figured out here in Number Muncher land. So there they are for you. I'm going to go through them quick. Now, I'm actually not going to go through them, so take a picture. It'll last longer. There you go. Moving on. Oh, yep. Before I move on, though, the draft next year will be in Minnesota. No out-of-state draft next year. Moving on to the first ever Pizza Bowl. Here you have it. There you go. You have Andy locked in at the number 8 seed. Brett and Eric are in as well. Just a matter of if they're in the number 9 or the number 10 seed. And then you also have the loser, whoever doesn't make it into the playoffs, Sid and Peter at the number 7 seed. Losers move on to week 16, and then the loser of that buys the pizza. Good luck to all in the last week, week 14. This is Number Muncher. Peace out.
All right, I'm sure some of you did a freeze frame on that because he said, well, I'm not going to even talk about it. Just take a picture. The Number Muncher seemed in a hurry, but boy, did he crunch the numbers. I appreciate that, putting that together. Lots of, there are people in the driver's seat, that control their destiny. Matt, you control your destiny. Peter, you control your destiny. You guys went out. Sid doesn't have a chance. And boy, oh boy, that too, for all Sid gave up, for all Sid did wheeling and dealing to make his team better, I would argue that maybe the cringy is there, but again, it's tough to really argue against 2 and 11. Speaking of Peter, he's next up in the game, the Valhalla Vandals at 6 and 6, coming in, taking on the Pack Attack at 3 and 9, and Valhalla rides again, 97 for Peter, 88.5 for Eric. James Conner, 18 points, highest of the season. Run CMC, 15. Ayuk, 10.5. Mahomes, Brown, and the Jets defense all notch 10 points. Kelsey, 6. He had 78 points in his first 6 games. He has had 33 in his last 5. I don't know if it's age. I don't know if they're because of Rashee Rice has taken off. They've been using Pacheco more. Kelsey doesn't seem to be the dominant guy. I know with everyone else Peter has in his lineup, if Kelsey picks it back up, look out. If you're Eric, limping to the finish line is where he's going. Metcalf 33, Stafford 26. That's right. Those two had 59 of Eric's 88.5 points. 5 players were at 5 or below. Eric's off to the Pizza Bowl, as is myself and Andy. So here we go. This is all for pride. And of course, Andy.
Welcome, FTFL, to the fantasy graveyard. This week is quite easy. A team who cannot find the right combination to put together and couldn't swallow defeat. Now to the fantasy graveyard. Welcome to the graveyard. Yes, the old disappointment team, high and mighty, how they have fallen. Oh, yes, a QB carousel. We don't know who to start. Oh, so much hope. I waited so long for this one. Ah, yes, shaken, not stirred. Very shaken, I think. Oh, yes, a 2-time champion. Oh, I think we know who it is. Yes, the mixing cocktails. Your season is over. Now, on to more important business. Brett, you came for me and failed to hold up your end of the bargain. Now, I am coming for you. You better hide. There is no escaping me. I know where to find you. Beware.
He came into this game, had lost 4 in a row. And it doesn't matter because, you know, now, oddly enough, Andy, maybe he quietly to himself, laying down in his bed, like whispered into the heavens, I quit fantasy football, or I quit on the FTFL. Maybe that's what happened. I'm going to assume that's what happened because that's just how this goes. But if you're Andy, 96.5, your 4-8 team scored that. My 2-10 team, Hulkamaniac, 62.5. If you're Andy, Jamar Chase, 23.5. Gardner Minshew, 22. Miami's defense, 16. Tony Pollard, 11.5. Austin Eckler, 1 point. In weeks 8 through 10, he came back from injury and he blew it up. 52.5 points over that 3-game stretch. On the season, he has 91.5 points. It has been a whole lot of not even mediocrity, below mediocrity for Austin Eckler, and there's a lot of hope for him this season. So if you're Andy, that may be part of your troubles. For me, Jordan Love. And Aaron, get well. You're racing to come back from this injury for what? Oh man. Oh God, this is so much fun. Jordan Love, you the man, buddy. Christian Watson, get well soon, 19.5. And really, I suppose it is time. Christian Watson, I hate to do this to you, but I hit the sounder. Wet paper sack alert! Yeah, you kind of are a wet paper sack, mate. Cleveland's defense, the vaunted Cleveland's defense, 0 points. Tank Dell, 0, done for the season. Who knows if I'll keep him now. Jahmyr Gibbs, 2.5. Really kind of stumbling as of late. I don't know what's going on there in Detroit. As I said earlier, worst record in league history. All right, let's stud, dud, and cringy this and get on out of here. Stud of the week, Debo, 36. Over a third of his season points came in just that one game. Now, if you're Sid, you need these points. Of course, you'd like them in games. I suppose all your games at this point mean a lot. Huge week for Debo. Dud of the week, the Chargers. Herbert, Ekeler, Allen all had piss poor weeks. The Chargers seemed broken. I know it was raining, but 6 points. 6 points against New England. And oddly enough, New England has allowed 10 or fewer points in 3 straight games and lost all of them, which is also mind-blowing. And the cringy, I think it's easy. It's me, 2-11 on the season, just awful. Awful. 5 of the first 20 picks in next year's draft. If I can't turn that into something, well, then we know. I mean, you would like to think that's anti-luck, having that many picks. If I get a bunch of good players that all get hurt, then we really know. Here we go, week 14, final week of the regular season. Make America great again, 6 and 7, taking on the Valhalla. Still waiting for Peter to, I guess, get up off the couch and come get his hammer. Until then, I'm going to hold on to that right there. 7 and 6 for Peter. This is a huge game. Peter wins. Sid is all but done. Team Dick Week 9 and 4 taking on Mana, 4-time Lucky Pants, breaking it and entering title thieving. Wow. First time in a long time, I kind of forgot exactly. Oh, I gave up on my team, but my team keeps winning because I'm riding the horseshoe train. Choo-choo, Champ Mana. I think I forgot belt stealing in there, but it was pretty good. At 7 and 6, again, big game for Jeff. He's going to be in the playoffs, but you want to win into the playoffs, not back into the playoffs. John, you need to win if you want to win. Well, actually, I think you need to win, and according to the number muncher, you need to beat Sid Swart's score by 77 points. So, John, you're probably playing in the first week of the playoffs. Architect, 7 and 6, taking on the Pack Attack at 3 and 10. Southbound Pachyderms, the Pigs, coming in at 9 and 4, taking on the Mixing Cocktails at 5 and 8. And lastly, the Monkeys at 10 and 3, taking on, oh goody, the lowly Hulkamaniacs. Well, I sure hope Salty's team finds their footing this week. That'd be a nice, 2 and 12. Just really put a stamp on this season. And put a stamp on this show is what's going to happen next. Thank you for joining me this week. My, oh my, what a show. And I guess, you know what, Reaper, if you got some problem with me, you know where to find me. I'm right here. I'm waiting and I'm ready. But until next time, peace. I gotta figure this out. I don't know. Why was there just one? Who would have done this? That doesn't make any sense. That was right out here. Stupid Reaper. Stupid Trump. I just don't get it. Like, none of this makes any sense. Wait a minute, what's that? Hold on. Wait, what is... Oh, gotcha.